What is a mixed drink? What is a highball? What do we define as a cocktail? Let's find out.
Brought to you by awesomedrinks.com. Check out learn.awesomedrinks.com to learn more about cocktails.
Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm DERRICK SCHOMMER, and this series is all about kickstarting your journey into home cocktail mixology, bartending, cocktail enthusiasm. And if you do want to get a job as a bartender someday, go right ahead. You can use this information. It's all free for you to use. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on learn.awesomedrinks.com, like. If you're on YouTube, like. You get the idea. Today I want to just go through a little bit on the categories of what is a mixed drink, what is a cocktail, what is a highball, to give you a little bit more information and a sense of what you might be building when you start looking at cocktail designs. Because it does actually make a little bit of a difference, and it may help you serve some of your guests and give them a drink that they're looking for. All cocktails are mixed drinks, but not all mixed drinks are cocktails. Technically, mixed drinks have existed forever. It's just like put one thing inside of another and you've got a mixed drink. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. You can mix quinine with gin and have a cure for malaria. Or you could take a cup of McDonald's and stick it in all of the fountain drinks one by one and make what I think is called a suicide, if that's what you're into. So really it comes down to anything from a Shirley Temple to a Cuba Libre. That's a rum and coke with lime. As a craft bartender or as a home cocktail mixologist, a lot of people, as you're getting into craft cocktails and the taste, you start to look at mixed drinks in a different way. You look at mixed drinks as things that don't require any effort. Soda and rum, orange juice and vodka. What's the challenge in that? Take whatever random spirit you have and whatever you have in your dorm fridge, mix them together and you've got a mixed drink. So if a mixed drink kind of fits everything, what's a highball? Well, we know it's a glass. We have a video all about different types of glassware as well. But all highballs are mixed drinks, but not all mixed drinks are highballs. In general, we have a better definition of what a mixed drink really is. It's a two-component drink, usually spirit and juice. A Greyhound would be a highball. A screwdriver would be a highball, even though they're both mixed drinks. Why that makes a difference is because a highball really needs to pair and concentrate on the flavor combinations because it only has two. The ratio that I found to be the best for a highball is 1.5 ounces of spirit, let's say vodka, and 5.5 ounces of juice, let's say orange juice. Now the vodka example is kind of cheating because vodka doesn't have any flavors. So, it's a neutral grain spirit. It's not true neutral in flavor, but the nuances you're going to get out of a vodka are lost when you start putting 5 ounces or more of a juice in them. If you put more than 1 ounce of juice in them. So vodka's kind of the easy way. You take a juice, you mix it with vodka, you have alcoholic juice. But when you want to pair other flavors together, let's say a gin and grape juice as a highball is a fantastic drink. Mezcal and pomegranate juice. Fantastic drink. Midori and apple juice, another fantastic drink. What you could do is pair those flavors together by looking, I have a whole video on how to do this, but if you took, say, the Flavor Bible, which is a book that kind of connects flavors, and you look at melon, and you can look at what other things kind of pair with it, and you see, oh, apple's in there. Midori melon and apple juice, let's give that a try and see how it goes. And a lot of the herbal qualities of a gin map very well with grapes. So while highballs are simple and refreshing, they do require just a little bit of talent to figure out what could you make with it that's just not a screwdriver. Then you have the definition for a cocktail. Broadly speaking, a cocktail should be anything that's got alcohol and is 3 ingredients or more. If less than 3 ingredients, it's a highball. If it's less than 2 ingredients, it's just whatever the ingredient is. Remember, Harry Croswell in 1806 defined that cocktail as spirit, sugar, water, bitters. Jerry Thomas added acidity in 1862. So now you have sour. And then in 1948, David Embury published a book. You can look it up. It's called The Fine Art of Mixing Drinks. David Embury took it to another level. His definition was slightly different. He believed that 75% of your base is alcohol. Rum, whiskey, gin, vodka, whatever. Then you added your modifying agent, vermouth, bitters, juices, eggs, and a special flavoring or color. Chartreuse, orange liqueur, blue curacao, more bitters, orgeat, pomegranate juice, grenadine. This research that he did and documented has become a reference that's been influential for bartenders for years. Generations of bartenders have based their recipe designs after what he did. He also created an 8-2-1 cocktail formula for the ratios between spirits, sours, and sweets. But we're going to talk about that in the next video. So that's all we need to know about David Embury right now. Besides the fact that he was an attorney and he never spent any time behind the bar. Sort of like me. Bottom line, if somebody asks you to make them a highball, they're probably looking for something that's more juice-centric. They probably don't want to get destroyed. And they might not be looking for very complicated flavors. Great for summer drinks. Sitting at the pool, you probably want a highball, something that gives you the vitamins, the refreshingness, a little bit of sour, a little bit of enjoyment without getting wrecked. However, if somebody's asking for just a mixed drink, they're probably looking for like a rum and coke, mimosa, screwdriver, which is also technically a highball. Now, if somebody says, make me a good cocktail, they're probably looking for something a bit more complicated, something kind of like give them a sense of something they may not have had before. Maybe they enjoy the connections of like a sour and a sweet and an herb. Maybe they want a blended drink. You don't know, but at least you have a clue of the direction you're going to need to take. In general, somebody asking for a cocktail is looking for a flavor experience. As you gain more experience in making cocktails, you're going to realize that keeping an open mind is important. Just because somebody asks for a rum and coke doesn't make them a stupid cocktail drinker. They might not even be ignorant to cocktails. Maybe they just want a rum and coke. Sure, if a college kid comes up to you and says, I want a rum and coke, serving them a Boulevardier is probably the wrong way to go, and they probably don't care or have any interest in that. And as a home bartender, you probably want to create drinks that somebody's going to enjoy. A Southside. It's a beautiful cocktail that doesn't have too much dimension, but it is an enjoyable experience for somebody looking for an enjoyable experience. Not a rum and coke. But along the way, as you introduce somebody to a rum and coke, maybe you add something new to it, like a cocktail bitter. Maybe a dash of grapefruit bitters or Angostura bitters to give it a little bit of a flair. Make them maybe appreciate a different dynamic flavor and get them interested. Hook them in before you start asking to create complicated drinks for them. Or give that rum and coke person a little bit of a squeeze of lime and tell them you've just experienced a Cuba Libre, a drink from the history of Cuba. And if you've watched our sugars video, remember sugars can give yourself a different flavor that you could be adding to a cocktail you already like. Demerara sugar with the daiquiri. Or maybe bitters, chocolate bitters in your next whiskey sour. If you're at a party and somebody says, give me something with bourbon, and you say, well, what have you had in the past? And they say, oh, I had a whiskey sour at a wedding once. Now you have some place to go with them. Make them a fresh whiskey sour, maybe a dash of chocolate bitters, pass that over to them and see what they think. If they're super excited about it, you could have just turned their whole perspective upside down on cocktails. Next time we're going to explore the popular recipe template called 2-1-1. It's a ratio. It's the golden ratio. For now, click the link below. Get yourself started as a new home bartender by picking up the home bartender kit at awesomedrinks.com. Sidebar videos. Course 1, all about learning your bartender tools. Course 2, all about understanding the cocktail. That's it. We're teaching you how to drink.